Hi everyone, I'm making this video to try and help people who are having problems with the Chinese Android radios, especially the YT5760B. You know, there's a lot of names for them. I believe XYAUTO is one of them. Anyways, first of all, thanks to Howard C64. I'm not sure what's his real name. Howard, let's assume Howard, for making this site. It's really helpful, and this would be your first step, is to do a backup of your existing head unit, because you will need these two files and you will need to follow his instructions. And also thank you very much to this gentleman here who developed the simple OTA tool to extract these files. Okay, so follow this post here. You can see the link here in the top. Just head over to this site in your browser. I'll probably put that in the video description as well, and follow these steps here on how to back these files up. You will need to do this before you continue. And then the second step would be, you would need MTK Toolbox made by Noah. So you can download it here. You can click here on latest and it would take you to this GitHub site, and you can just download the exe. Okay, and then put this in a clean folder, preferably something with a really short path name like this. Just drop it in here, and then your next step would be to go to Howard's site, and I'm not sure exactly where this is. You'll have to look for it here. It will be here somewhere as you navigate through this. I cannot remember where it is. I think it's somewhere where there's like an unbricking or something like that. Anyways, he has an Excel file which has the link to all of the latest firmware for these units, both the horizontal and the vertical units. Okay, so the problem with these head units is apps will crash, some apps will refuse to run, and there's a good reason for that, because the manufacturers of these units tend to make fake devices and fake specifications. I learned that the hard way. I bought a unit which I thought had 8 gigs RAM. Turns out it's actually only 2 gigs of RAM, so you just get ripped off if you try and buy a bigger unit. That's not the case for all of the Chinese radios, but for this particular model it is. And also it's been sold as a octa-core unit. It's actually really not. It's actually a quad-core unit. Sorry, I'm just unblocking this because I see my ad blocker is blocking that everywhere. Anyway, so let's get started. So the tools that you would need is MTK Toolbox and Python. So first step would be to download the firmware. Download this version's firmware. This is the fastest one. So I downloaded the two firmware versions, the latest one and this one here. I've already extracted this in the editor. Okay, so this is a clean version of the firmware. Your first step would be to edit the ro.build version in system.img. So we're going to head right over there, and then you're going to edit that in Notepad++. Okay, so you will know the line feed characters here at the end. So for that you will need to ensure that you're using Unix. Normally Notepad++ will auto detect it, so that shouldn't be a problem. Obviously here's the clear first sign of fakery. It is Android 9, not Android 10. So edit that and save. In my case, I have my unit rooted. I just would like to disable SE Linux. I'm not going to explain what that does right now. If you don't know what this is, don't do what I'm doing right now. You only need to do the first step. I'm just making this video because then I don't need to do it twice. I really don't have the time to make a nice video. Okay, so that's the first step. Then the next step would be, you're going to navigate to system etc xy. Right, here we go. Then you're going to go into this file called effects. You're going to edit that in Notepad++. And by the way, these are the apps that are blocked. So your unit will refuse to run them for obvious reasons, because those apps can detect Chinese fakery. Then you're going to go to something called animation whitelist. why they put it in here, sorry, third app whitelist, why they've named it like this, I don't know. You will also note here that these are all apps who either do benchmark testing, or these are package names from what's it called, Google Play. This will detect whether your device has some fakery going on. These apps will be either blocked, they won't run, or what will happen is this thing is so smartly programmed, it will actually intercept it. And something that's really sketchy is this part here where they're intercepting Google Chrome, especially where you adjust the preferences. So I'm just going to do is I'm just going to delete all of their junk here because I don't trust them, and you will see just now why. And then we're going to go to the next step, and this is the part for people who really know what they're doing. You can also head over to GitHub's the site where Alps, the original manufacturer of the printed circuit board and the original designer that the distributors are using, they have uploaded the official source of the kernel. If you really know what you're doing, you can download the source and you can actually modify it, which is what the Chinese guys did, and they patched it, and that is actually built into the kernel where it reports fake RAM and fake amount of cores. Which is obviously not so nice, but anyway. So if you did up to this step, then great. I've provided a folder called XYAUTO. What you're going to do is, it's this one here. I'm currently working on a Margusk module if you want to route or root your device. But you can just take the folder that I've provided, you copy it, you go to system media. So that would be in here, and you just drop it in here. Okay, so then the next step would be you're gonna open this file and you're gonna look for this line. Okay, so we're gonna go in here. This one is the real specifications of the device. It will not look at anything in here. What you edit here has no effect on the device, but the one which doesn't have the underscore real, this is the one that your device will read the first time that it boots up. So unfortunately you will have to wipe your device when you flash this back to it. Here I changed the default volume to only level 7, so after you reset the device it will be very loud. Usually default is like 30. So I've just set it to 7. So here you can change your Android 14 version, which is usually faked with 13 or 14 or 10. I've just changed this back to 9. In my case, my unit has this ST amplifier, so I've just put the level 0 here. You can change other things here as well, but just follow my instructions here and you should be all set. Okay, unless you're a power user. So I'm just showing this for, I'm gonna assume most people are power users, but if you're not, then just do what my readme says. Okay, so note that in the same folder there's a boot animation.zip. In my case, I have a custom boot animation, so I'm just going to copy that in there because I would like to use that. You don't need to do this step, but I obviously do. I'm just showing you what you can do. So I'm sorry this video is all over the place, but yeah, too bad, so sad. So next step would be to go to inside files. For some reason, I don't know why, they put files in here, music and a video. So if you don't do this, what I'm doing now, which is to delete them, it's also here in the README, it tells you to delete them, then your music player is going to play them and there's no way for you to delete them whatsoever. Very nice. But now we've deleted them, so obviously now they don't exist. And you can just copy your music to the head unit and your unit will only see that instead of playing these files as well. Okay, so the very important next step would be to go to system.img, and this is the really sketchy part. If you go in here, what do you see here? You see something called SU. That stands for super user. That means that whoever made this firmware has super user access to your device, or I would assume, because this is a custom compiled SU binary and it's not made by Chainfire, and it's also not made by Top John Wu, which is the author of Margusk. So this is kind of sketchy. So I'm just going to delete this file because obviously I don't want someone else to have root access to my device. I will root it myself. Thank you. Okay, so, and then finally, now we've made a lot of modifications. Now you're just going to go to the editor. I just renamed this folder obviously to something else. By the way that you would extract it is you would copy this. I should have probably said this from the beginning. I'm sorry. You should copy the system image from this version, paste it here, and then you right click on this tool and you run it as administrator. And then you would select option 2, and then you would select option 1, which is to unpack. Then you would unpack system image, and then you would press enter. I just want to make sure I'm not going to override something. No, I'm not going to. And then you would see it's unpacking, and it would create a new folder called editor. Okay, so this is just folders that I've already extracted from the original firmware, which I've just renamed. As you can see, it's already past like 12 at night. So yeah, it's done. Okay, so this just tells the porting tool what permissions to assign to every file. Okay, so that's our final step. So we're gonna just quickly go back to the folder where we were editing ours, and we're just gonna do this. Again, it's in the README, so you can just follow this. We're gonna look for this, and we're gonna delete it because these files don't exist anymore. So obviously, no need to have permissions assigned to something that's not existing. Anyways, I think the repacking tool will just skip over it. Just remember with Notepad++ to save, and then we're gonna just look for this. Let's just quickly search for this, and then we're just gonna delete this. This line, this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, and there we go. We're just going to delete that. You know, if you want to, you can actually do this. There's really nothing wrong with that. It's just going to give you more permissions. I would assume someone who has gotten to this stage knows how Linux's permissions work. If you don't, go and read or look for what it's the equivalent of doing something like this command, and you would, for example, specify this folder. It's basically what this tool does. It just gives this file permissions. These numbers tell you whether you have read, write, and modify access and permissions. So yeah, anyways, I'm not going to go into more details because I think I've been jumping around quite a bit now. I'm going to save this. Now do note that I will provide files to modify or to root your device with Magisk. So you will have to flash a blank VB meta. I will provide the boot image for you for the vertical unit. This will be for the vertical units only. I think I have named it as such, or not yet. Okay, but anyways, where is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I'm still working on this. So I already have my Magisk module here that is flashable. I just haven't uploaded it yet, but I will do so. That will allow you to modify these files systemlessly. Okay. If you don't know what that means, then probably you wouldn't want to go to this step, because if you go to this part here where you just repack this and you just copy this system image that we've repacked now. I haven't repacked it now. Let's quickly repack it. So I think this tool will automatically back it up. Let's just quickly see. So we're going to go number 2 because we've already done the modifications. Now I'm just going to go repack. I'm going to tell it we want to repack the system. It says it already exists, so it's actually smart enough to realize that it should rename the file. So I think it should be done repacked now. Yes, there we go. And then I'm going to go for exit. So this is the original firmware. We didn't touch this. We modified the system image from this only. Okay, here's the modified image. So now that I've done everything to this that I wanted, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to right click and I'm going to patch, just replace the system image in this particular newer firmware version. What is important is that you can do what I just did with newer vendor images, but not with an older one. Because from Android 8 upwards, the drivers, in other words, the files that is required for your specific device is packed in vendor and not in system. Remember now, from the very first step that I said in the README, maybe I didn't put it in the README. Yeah, actually I didn't. I just said it in the video, so I'll probably just add it in here. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for for jumping around this much, but I really don't have time to do this. Yeah, I really don't have time to make a proper nice YouTube video. So if someone else has the time to do that, please do that. So yeah, now we're just gonna quickly take the files from my ROM backup. This one is the important one, and this one. I'm just gonna copy these. I'm just also going to go back to this. I'm just gonna paste it in here. So I'm just gonna say yes, replace the logo and MetaZone and NVCFG, the preloader. Please do not flash the preloader ever. It's really not necessary. Yeah, so I think I have everything here now that I need. So this whole package can now be flashed to my device, and yeah, it will wipe the data. You have to do this step, unfortunately, where you're going to wipe your data. Yeah, unfortunately. But that will actually give you the desired results. Okay, so now that we've repacked everything, I should be able to flash this firmware as is. But I will, as I've said, provide a boot image that is already patched with Margusk and a blank VB meta that you can flash to your device so that your device will be rooted. And I will also provide a flashable zip in the description that you can flash to your device, and then if you're a power user, well, then you can have fun. So thank you very much for everyone for your time, and I really hope this has helped you. And I'm sorry for the frustration. You might need to watch this video multiple times because I jump around a bit. But I really need to get this job done now. I bought this radio for someone else actually as a gift. Yeah, I have to do that because tomorrow is a long day of work again and I have to get some sleep. So yeah, anyway, thank you very much for your time. I hope this has helped you, and please help each other in the comment section as well, as I've tried to help you, and as Howard have tried to help you, and as this gentleman has tried to help you, and as everyone in the Android community has tried to help each other. So that is it from me. Goodbye.